All right, give it a second. Looks like we got a few viewers in here. Great. All right, well, hello and welcome, everyone. This is day 3 of Crypto Sports Week, and it's the final event of the day. Today we're joined by Justin Tobin and Marguerite DeCourcelle. We got a few viewers in here. Oh, get rid of that. Sorry about that. And they'll be giving us a glimpse into Blockade Games and what they have going on there, more specifically Neon District. Thank you both so much for joining us today, and we're really excited to see what you guys have to show us.
Thanks for having us.
If you could just give us a little kind of intro about yourself and backgrounds and talk a little bit about what you guys have going on.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Marguerite DeCourcelle here. I'm the CEO of Blockade Games. We've been building Neon District for about the past 2 to 3 years. Neon District is a free-to-play blockchain game that leverages NFTs in a cyberpunk universe. I've brought on with me today Justin Tobin, who just dropped off, I think. But Justin is basically, I like to call him he's basically our pro player in Neon District, and he is also a really great example of a player that's walked into our game and been able to compete with spending very little coin on collecting your characters and then competing on the leaderboard through skill and strategy. So my hope today was that we could show you kind of a walkthrough of how players are competing, how we've designed this free-to-play game, and where we're going to be taking it going forward in the next few months. Justin, I don't know if you want to say a little bit about yourself.
I think you covered it pretty well. Yeah, I think I first found your guys' community back when you first launched your initial site 3 years ago for it, and I've been with you guys since then. And yeah, I've just kind of been a big community member for you guys since. I've been playing since. Yeah, so I guess I can show you guys all what I guess Neon District is about. Let me see if I can figure out how to properly screen share this here.
Justin is also one of our head managers for Coin, our social token that I have for my creative projects.
Let me share the right window here. All right, so this is pretty much the Neon District portal for it. When you log in, this is what you're going to see when you first get in here for it. And like Marguerite was explaining, everything in this game is an NFT. So all characters, all gear, whether they're weapons, armor, everything you make, you own. You level it up, it's all yours. You can do what you want with it. You can trade it to other players. You can sell it. Whatever it is, you do what you want with it. So all new accounts will get a new character at the start. They also get 300 Neon, which is the in-game currency to basically buy everything that you need for. Characters cost like 100 Neon, so you can go right away. We give you enough Neon just so you can buy 4 characters right off, or have 4 characters right off the bat, which is what a full team is made of in here. So I'm going to actually not go through the whole buying process, but as a new player, you come in here if you want. You don't need to spend any money at all. It's all free to play. If you want, you can buy Neon if you want to advance quicker and kind of shortcut a little bit of the time and the grind for it. It's up to however your play style is for it. So if you want, you can come right off the bat. You make a new team for it. You can come over to here. You can see your characters for it. You can equip them. You can put weapons on it. You can battle. So the big thing of how Neon District works is it's kind of like an RPG mixed with TCG, pretty much. So each character on your team has its own set of 20 cards is your total pool per character. In this case, a character will have 10 unique cards for it that they draw from on their turn, and then a weapon would also provide an additional 10 cards to give 20 cards per character on your team. And when you eventually are battling on your turn, you'll draw 3 cards from that pool, and that's how you make decisions for it. So that's kind of just a quick overview of what Neon District is. And I know I'm kind of going through this a little bit quick. I just kind of want to show.
Well, I can also throw you some questions too, like just as to help paint this new user experience for someone that's never played this game before. If I were to come into the game, let's say, how long do you think it would take me to like like my pace of neon that I'm accumulating when I'm just starting out with my 1 character, my 3 characters.
Yes. So brand new free-to-play character generally for the most part runs, right now we have a mode called Neon Pizza mode for it. It's basically an auto battler set up for it. We send your teams out. Basically they're delivering pizzas in the Neon District City for it. Each delivery that they complete successfully, they get neon paid out for it. It automatically progresses you through deliveries, and each delivery shift takes about 8 hours. Come back, check on your team. You can collect your neon for it. We also have a next level, so people that kind of want to take it to the next level, be a more active player. There's a tier 2. That is definitely the more hardcore level for it. That's when you start having players, they can start ambushing you and stealing your neon as you're going out on deliveries.
Just, I guess, from a player's perspective, which do you find? Do you find it more rewarding to?
So tier 1, if you're new, yeah. So tier 1 is probably what a new player is going to do coming in. You earn about 500 neon about every 2 to 3 days if you actively regularly send your team out on new shifts for it. And 500 neon will buy you a gear crate off of it. And the gear crate, each crate that you have has 4 items in it. I'll just go ahead and buy one to show you for it. So each box has, you can either give you armor or weapons for it. In this case, I got all armor. I didn't get any weapons here, but as you can see, I got a legendary piece of armor. This one's a rare, and then you have a common and rare for it. Each of these items has stats to them for it. So if you then come over to just show you all filter. So just to show you what I just got. Sorry, need to go to newest. Wrong filter. So this is showing the newest ones that I just got in here for it. So if you come in here, legendaries are automatically leveled to level 5 for it. And level 5 is the current level cap during this alpha of the game for it. Eventually that will be removed and the cap will have a soft cap around level 15. But for right now, while everything's being fleshed out, level 5 is the cap. So this is already maxed rolled. So as you can see, it has health, attack, defense, and then there's 5 different skills that it has in here. So you can see this has higher health for it, okay defense, and it has additional boosted nano. So this would be something that would be good for like a dock character for it.
Well, and I just want to jump in real quick and say, so Neon District is on Polygon.
Yes.
So these assets are all being minted to Polygon, and the marketplace is now supported on OpenSea. So people are actually trading these assets for fraction, like a few cents, and in some cases, and actually the way that the system works for rolling, like even if you have a common asset, it might be very strategic to have and level up for your party, as opposed to like, you know, maybe a more rare legendary. So it's just like the collecting angle of this game is not as straightforward as, you know, buy the most expensive item possible and you're gonna be like have a better strategy.
Yeah, I guess I don't think either of my teams has a single legendary part on them, I don't believe. I think I may have 1 or 2 ultra rares, but I think my teams are primarily made up of commons, uncommons, and rares that I leveled up to level 5, and then selectively chose what cards to apply and replace on the weapons and for that. So like she was saying, all these are minted to the Polygon network for it. So each one of these is basically shown up in my wallet. And Neon District works off of custodial wallets. So when you create an account, the game creates actually a wallet that physically exists on the Polygon network for you. So all these are directly minted into that wallet. You can also link any of your personal wallets to the game. So any assets you have in a personal wallet get picked up by the game and show in here in your inventory. And you're also free to then transfer stuff out of your custodial wallet. You can take it, you can go into any one of these for it. There's a transfer button for it. You can transfer it, send it to your own personal wallet, and go list that on OpenSea, which is the 2 marketplaces that are live right now that support Neon District assets. So you can go out there, do whatever you want. We also have free in-game trading between players. So you can also come in here, you can transfer. So you can also transfer to users. You just come in here, type, so you just type their use free for it. So the game covers the cost of transfers between players within custodial wallets. Once you set it to your own wallet, though, you will need your own Matic to then continue to transfer list on OpenSea for it. But anything within the game covers all the gas and transaction costs for you. So that was a kind of quick, I kind of showed you what you could buy with Neon for it. You can also come in and equip for it. So that new head that I just got, you can come in here, select it, so I can apply it to this character, give him a head. You can go down the line, add body parts for it, and you can see all the stats here, and you can live see your stats update over here that you're building for it. So depending on what you're going for, you may want a lot of health on something that's going to be at the front of your team for it, maybe a lot of defense, and then something at the back of your team, you'd maybe want a lot of attack, kind of do damage, and then you can come pick your weapons and apply weapons. So this is a character that I just built for it, and then you can also then come over to your team setup. You could always create a new team for it. So just say is a new one. Or you could then go find any of those characters that you just built, and in here you can see where you're applying it. Each team consists of 4 characters per team for it. This one doesn't have a weapon. I don't know if I have any built right now with weapons besides my main 8. I'm gonna just show one of these as an example. So this is one of my teams that I have right now in delivery for it. So in here you can see all the stats of the gear that I have equipped for him. So this is the base character stats. Once you add in all the armor and weapons, this is his new stats. This is what he's going on deliveries with. And over here is the cards. Like we're saying, this is a TCG kind of at its core. So this is his 20 card deck for this specific character for it. So each of these you can click on, and you can see exactly what it does, some special effects that it has for damage that it can do for it. In this case, this one does 200 additional attack to the target enemy, removes all poison from yourself and enemy, and deals 150 piercing damage for each level removed for it. So this is a relatively strong card. It's a rank 9 card. Cards are ranked from 0 to 10 for it. Generally, the higher the rank, the stronger it is, but the more specialized it is. So it usually has a very narrow band for how it works or what you need to pair it with to get the full effect out of it. Whereas stuff in the mid-range and 5, 6, 7 is usually a more general thing. It does a lot of damage, but there isn't very specific necessary requirements you need for it. And the lower level stuff usually has very basic requirements it can do, but may do less damage. Like I was saying, so here's the 20 cards for this, and each one is a different type. I guess come back. There's 6 different character types to this game. There's demons for it, and these all give a very brief description of what they are. So demons generally have higher attack for it. Docs are the ones that are healers. So they generally have a higher nano score for their skills and generally pull cards that will heal your team. Geniuses are the mad scientists. They have a lot of nuke cards or attack all type cards in their pool. Ghosts, like it says, is assassins. Big thing ghosts are used for is they have poison abilities to help do additional damage to other players. Heavies are generally used as kind of the tank. People put those usually at the front of their team when doing deliveries, just kind of take damage and protect the 3 characters behind. And then jacks are the hackers. They have some heal cards, and then their primary use would be eventually for the roadmap for this game, missions and campaigns will come. They will also introduce environmental objects, and these have a lot of interact cards that you can hack those robots or whatever it is that's the environmental object in the game for campaigns for it. So there's 6 different characters that you can go buy, and they all have their own special, unique skills that you can go through.
Maybe before we jump into the game, like the gameplay, just the concept at a high level. So you have your delivery team, which you're going to customize for that specific task. And then you have the ambush team, which you might want to have a little bit different. Justin, like I guess in thinking of, well, before you break out how you think about those 2 different teams, then you have your retribution. So you have your team that you're sending out in deliveries. It's passive gameplay. So they're going and making these deliveries and you're earning neon tips. And then when you bank your neon tips as you go, but if you get ambushed by a team that's ambushing you while you're out on delivery, they steal half of your tips. And that'll just keep reducing. So it's best for you to be banking as you go. You'll save more money. But you can also put out a hit contract for someone that has ambushed you and maybe you're grumpy about it. So you can go steal back some of your neon from the teams that have ambushed you. But you have to win in order to do that. Or somebody else can go win money for you and then you split what they won back for you. Maybe, Justin, is it worth talking a little bit about some of those strategies you think about in the different teams, both like delivery and ambushing, and then also, what are some tactics with the retribution with stealing that money back. Have you found any of these to be worthwhile, like worth your time?
Yeah, so there's obviously a lot of strategy that you can put into this game. There's a lot of depth and different combos you can look for characters. So my general strategy is I put my primary healers and kind of damage takers. So for my ambushing team, my front two characters are Jack and Doctor. They don't do a lot of damage. Their primary goal is they just heal. So their goal is just keep healing themselves, and they have a bunch of cards that are heal all cards for it, so they heal everything out there for it. So one thing about Neon Pizza mode is it's all automated battles for that part of the game for it, and it attacks front to back. So it'll always attack your front character first and go down the line as it kills them for it. So my general strategy is always try to put the ones that can take the most damage and heal the most up front, not too worried about them doing much damage themselves, and then I put my big damage hitters in the back. So even if I lose one of these front ones, I still have a second healer that can still keep healing while these ones are doing all the damage they can. Mainly because if you put a damaged person up front and they die, hey, you just lost a primary source of your damage to the other team, so it's not very effective. So I generally, my strategy is protect the ones up front as much as I can, give them a lot of HP and defense stats. So like in this case, my Doctor has over 3,000 HP, but his attack is only 80. I'm not too worried about him doing damage. Same with my Jack. The bigger focus was here was 270 defense and 240 health for it. Now once you start getting back here, these ones I boosted their attack. So 358 attack for this one, 307 for my back one for it. And they have a lot of more damaging cards for it, so they last the longest. So I generally kind of use that strategy a little bit for both my teams that are out there. There's obviously a lot of valid strategies that are out there for it. I've been kind of refining my team now for you've launched this January, so I've been refining my team for a few months now. For it, there's people have valid strategies. Some people put a heavy up front just because those usually have a lot of HP as their base stat. So it's easier to have a lot of health and defense on that character up front to take hits. There's just so many different combos you can make between characters and weapons you can put on. There's no true perfect team for it. I mean, I've changed my team pretty much weekly. I'll look at where I get hit, teams I lost to. You can always watch every game as a replay. I usually watch it, see what they're doing that's effective, and see what I can maybe pair up with my team to kind of make them more effective against that and counter it.
You know, you just gave me an idea of something that we should do. We should build. Well, two things I want to mention. One is that, in case people aren't aware of this, so your character is an NFT, all of your gear, each gear piece is an NFT, and it's composed into then your character unit and then your party unit. So like this is an NFT game, even though we're not talking necessarily about the technology behind with the NFTs in use. Right now we're just focusing on the game and game design and the ability to level up your NFTs and build out your teams. The second thing was, wouldn't it be really great, because I know this from managing the teams, but it is a lot of work, and we do spend a lot of time like out of battle preparing to send them, you know, upgrading them and sending them back in. If you could save your state of the characters, and then like if you're tearing them apart and then you hate what you've done, it's really actually pretty difficult to go back and put them all back together how they were originally. I think it would be pretty cool to roll out a save mode for that, so you could just redeploy where you were before you did that work.
An undo button.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever done that, but like you thought you put together a better strategy and then you took them to battle and you're like, oh crap, they're way worse. Or is that, maybe that's just me.
I've done that a few times, but generally I favorite all my best gear and I just filter it down to show my favorites, so I can usually find what I took off pretty quick rather than having to sort through pages of stuff to find what I want. I see someone asked, does this come with Ether's gas fees? I saw that Neon costs Ether. So I believe you're talking about if you buy Neon, so if you choose not to just earn it and you just want to buy a bunch of Neon, you can do that up in the upper right up here. So right now, buying Neon is on mainnet for Ethereum, so it does incur a gas fee. I believe the team is looking at moving to Polygon as the layer 2 solution for payment fees. So you'll be able to buy all this using Ethereum that's on Polygon and basically have virtually no gas fee to buy it. And they're also looking at credit card payments for those that don't have crypto but are interested in the game. They can buy Neon using a credit card if they want. And those two are coming. I don't know the latest stat on where those are.
Yeah, so Neon itself is not a token. It's like a in-game currency, a non-transferable in-game currency. So when we do have that layer 2 solution, it won't have the gas fee. So the gas fee you're incurring is just for spending your ETH, your crypto.
Yeah. So that kind of covers, I guess, everything you can buy in the game and level up and make a team. So that brings you to the Neon Pizza mode that they have right now. So Neon Pizza is basically you're sending your teams out to go make deliveries of pizza. For it. So right now I have a team out on delivery right now for it. So as you can see, it's going to all these locations. Right now it's on a delivery that's lasting 44 minutes, and they're going to pay me 29 Neon for completing this delivery. Right now it's a tier 2 delivery, so that means people can attempt to ambush me on the way. So as you can see, hey, on delivery 6, someone attempted to so you can see a few times I got an additional Neon for successfully defending an ambush against it. So in this, I got what looks like 36 Neon delivery for it. No one ambushed me on it, so I can go ahead and bank that for it. So I'm going to do that now. So that adds it directly into my wallet. So this is now spendable. I can go buy a crate with it. I can buy a new character. I can do whatever I want with it. It's mine for it. If I left it in there and someone were to ambush me and succeed, they'd steal half of what I was coming in. So they'd steal half of this 29 that was coming in. So they'd get 15 Neon. And they also would have stolen half of that 36 that I had unbanked up here for it. So tier 2 is definitely more aggressive and more of an active player type of tier. So you need to come back and actively check on your teams and see how it's going. Bank often as you can, basically protect that Neon that's coming in for it. So what's nice is this kind of runs automatically. Tier 1 is nice for players that don't have a lot of time to play. A shift lasts roughly about 8 hours, so you can go send your team out for deliveries. It'll probably complete 7 to 9 deliveries during that time while you're working, come home. Hey, you can go bank your Neon and you maybe made 150 Neon during that time. You can go send them on another shift for it. It runs automatically for it. And ambushing battles are run automatically by an AI. So you can always come in, you can see, hey, in this case, someone tried to ambush me for it. They lost. They didn't win any Neon. If they did win, it would say up here how much they won. You can always review every battle replay for it that's in the game, and making sure I have the sound turned off so this doesn't blast. But there's sound for it if you want to have it on, I have it turned off for it. But you can always come in here and see basically where it is. In this case, this team looks like a brand new team that took me on. They don't have any gear equipped. They have no weapons for it. So it's pretty much an easy win. As you can see, my team already is just kind of destroying them for it. But there's obviously a lot more teams that have that are a lot better that take me on for it, that lose for it. But just not to make you go watch that whole recap, I'll kind of show then what is the active play. So obviously, delivery is more kind of the passive mode of Neon Pizza for it, while criminal activity is basically where you can come and start ambushing teams for it. So in this case, I have this team, Robin Hood's, set up as my ambushing team. You can come here and look at the board for it. So in this case, these teams are out delivering right now. You can come and ambush them if you want. So mine's this one up here. I obviously can't ambush myself as a team. Or you can click on any one of these. It'll show you their stats. You can look at their stats. You can click view cards. You can see all the cards this character has. So you can kind of look at it, size them up, be like, hey, do I think I could beat them? You can go down the line for it. In this case, so someone already tried to ambush them. It cost them 5 Neon to make that attempt for it. They failed. So the cost increases now if I want to ambush them. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for 10. In this case, I successfully ambushed them. Won 18 Neon for that. It did cost me 10 to do it, but if I had failed, the cost would have then gone up for them. It would have cost the next person 15 to ambush them. And I can come in here. Like I said, this is how I kind of usually look at these to see where my teams are doing well and not doing well. I'll watch battle replays. You can always watch every game. You can always just come in and watch battle replay and see where you're doing damage, what they're doing that's kind of doing the most damage to you. And there are improvements that are coming to the replay system. Right now, it doesn't show the cards at the bottom for it. Eventually, there will be an improvement to the game that will add these to the cards. So you can live see what cards are being drawn and what cards are being played. Right now, it's a little bit of learning for it. So once you kind of know what cards your character has, you know what card it's playing when you're seeing damage or an ability being done for it. So it kind of goes through the ambushing one. And then as you build up for it, you can ambush multiple teams for it. So I can just come in here. You can see if there's a few other ones that I can ambush that are available for it. And we'll go down and check out a few of these. And I've kind of already gone through these. Normally, if it's a new team, I kind of check out and see what it is. before ambushing them. I've attacked these teams before, so I know I can take them on. So just kind of going on the line here, and then we'll go and take out Zayat's meme squad over here for it. So in that case, I probably spent about maybe 30 neon doing those 4 ambushes. You can cut players, as you can see. So I can go ahead and fence this. While it's on fence, people can actually steal this entirely back, and we'll go through that next for it. But for now, I'm going to go fence it. There is a fencing fee. It's kind of like, hey, these are your illicit goods. You're basically paying the criminal underbelly to clean these goods for you and kick out the rest of you. So in this case, I did steal 87, but I'm going to pay a flat 40 neon fee that's fixed no matter how much you're fencing, whether it's 1,000, whether it's 100 neon. You're just going to pay 40. So in this case, I'll get 47 back that will go directly into my bank up here when I fence the profits. So that's now spendable, and I can go ahead and spend that. And then, as we were talking about earlier, the last mode in here is the retribution. So say you got ambushed for it. Normally I'd see it here. I don't have a failure in this delivery for it. I had one in my previous one that I could have shown you. But if you had lost an ambush, there would be a button where you could view here, and then you could open a hit contract against them. I don't have one, so you could actually use the informant board. So if you want to, you can take on a team yourself and try to get your own money back. Or if you don't feel you can beat a team that ambushed you, you can go ahead and make it public. So all these people have gone and made contracts public of people they feel they can't beat to try to win money back. And normally when you come in here, you'd be able to view it. So in this case, Cybersmith is the one who got ambushed. Tallyman's the one who hit him and stole his money. So he published this contract, he made it public for it. So I can come in here being like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can win you some of that money back. I don't know if he has any unfenced neon, but if you did, you go ahead and hit him. If you win for it, you see it right here. So if he had neon, let's say he had 100 neon unfenced, it'd be split 50-50 between the person who employed me and me being the hitman. So I would have won 50 neon, and the player would have gotten 50 if this person had 100 unfenced. So that's why you don't want to let that number get too high, because the longer you go, the more likely someone could come back and hit you and steal all that neon for it. But if they were to have neon, you'd take 100% of it. So it's obviously you don't want to. So strategy is most people usually start banking when they hit about 150 neon or so. So you go hit 6 or 7 teams in a row, bank it, and then kind of do that is what the strategy most people do.
Yeah, well, and you can also, so you can be banking from mobile. So the game is, you can play the game from mobile as well as your web browser. So it makes sense then to do that sort of management as you're just, you know, from work or wherever you're hanging out.
Yeah. Most all my gameplay for this is actually done from my phone. I'm actually on a desktop for one of the very rare few times I play this game. But yeah, all of it's done from mobile for me. You come in, go bank my pay from deliveries for it, just check in every now and then. Every now and then I'll take a peek at the board, see if there's a bunch of teams I can ambush, go do that, bank some neon. For me, I know there's obviously a lot more hardcore players on the ambush side of things. I actually put most of my focus on the delivery side of things for it. I like analyzing my game and kind of focusing on delivery side, but there's obviously a lot of people making a lot of neon over on the ambush side of things. So you can see just this leaderboard reset, what, 2 days? Today's Thursday, yeah. So 2 days ago it reset, so about 48 hours ago. There's people that have already made 10,000 neon plus since 2 days ago. So ambushing is definitely a very lucrative part of this game if you're looking to get neon. So like in the case of this, 14,000 neon. I mean, gear crates are 500 neon. So this person just earned 30 crates in the past 2 days for just 60 items, all which are minted as NFTs to their wallet.
So this is basically the ladder that we created for the free-to-play onboarding. So new players could come participate. It's a specific game mode to help people accumulate neon so that then, as we're rolling out the campaign play over the next few months, we're going to be introducing players to basically the first slice of the Neon District universe, which will be a PvE experience. And so you'll be able to take your teams and your gear that will be outfitted for these different almost puzzle-esque campaigns that you'll be put up against. And you'll have to figure out what is the best combination to progress through the specific campaigns. And there'll be bosses. We actually are dropping soon an expansion that includes shards of, or not shards, it's a weapon item that you can roll the boss, which is a famous game character that we have. So it'll represent being able to summon the boss, which you'll, just like a Final Fantasy special effects, in battle, you'll see the boss drop down and do a move if you've rolled that specific card for that weapon type. So we are going to be really exploring this creative space with the NFTs and that TCG system, and then campaign play throughout the cyberpunk universe, as well as a PvP arena. Which Justin, have you spent much time talking to Ben about? Ben is the CTO of Blockade Games, but we've been putting a lot of thought into our PvP arena experience. Right now, we have a sort of test arena that's live where you can play against other players. But the actual arena itself is going to be more strategic with winning included.
Yeah, so that was the next thing. So obviously, Neon Pizza is kind of the play-to-earn part of the game. So you can earn Neon to get gear for it. And eventually, where you're going to start going, like we discussed on the roadmap, is campaigns and missions. One thing you can do now is we do have private matches where you can start learning PvP and kind of seeing how that kind of selection of with the TCG kind of the game where you're making the decisions yourself. So right now, play to earn part is kind of an auto battler system for it, but eventually you're going to be looking into the next level of that game is this PvP mode for it. So you can select a team, you can create a match request, and it gives you a private link that you can share with anyone that you want to play with. Right? Eventually there will be live matchmaking down the line, but right now it's just creating match requests that you share with a specific player that you want to play. Just kind of show you what a PvP will do. I'll go into a practice match against an AI enemy just to kind of show what the system looks like. So this will eventually kind of be the live play mode of it for it. And so this is just a generic AI team for it. They're not that strong. Eventually we'll have some rankings so you can choose stronger teams to test against for it. So down here, like I said, so you have a 20 card pool that you're pulling from. This is 3 cards that pulled randomly from that pool. In this case, it pulled 3 effect cards. These automatically happen during your turn for it. There's also attack cards, which do damage. There's ability cards, which are things like heals. Some of them can do damage, like piercing damage to enemy. And then the 4th type of card is an interact card, which would let you interact with environmental objects like robots that are on the level. So in this case, you always have a base attack as a base thing. So I'm going to select a base attack, attack this one, and confirm for it. So go ahead and do damage to them for it. And each card incurs a set amount of ticks. It's kind of like your mana pool. So in this case, my base attack did 40 ticks. That's what this bar up here, it's the tick counter. It's shown down as it counts down to 0 and you move to over here. That's when your next character goes. So in that case, lower ticks obviously means you'll go again sooner. So there's some trade-off there. Generally, the higher the tick it is, the more damage it does. So in this case, again, got 2 effects. And then I also got an ability in this case, all elites gain regen 3. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that to my team for it. So all 4 of my characters are going to get regen 3. So, and you can learn more about all these cards. There's over 400 different cards in this game for it between weapons and characters. We have a wiki page that lists every single one and what it does for it. But in this case, regen per level at the end of your turn, it increases your health by 5 or heals you 5%. So in this case, I just did a regen 3 on all my characters, and he had an effect that did regen 2, so I have regen 5 on all these. So at the end of each of these characters' turn, they gain 25% of their health back for it. And then that diminishes after each turn. So then it'll go down to regen 4, and next turn it'll have 20% health for it, and then so on and so forth for it. So then same with this character. Like I said, it's just each of these is kind of like a TCG. This is what I do this turn for it, so go ahead and do damage to the characters. And eventually, like we said, this is where like the whole like esport angle of this game will come from. You'll have live PvP where you're matching against other players. For it, you'll have a ranking system, and I'm going to assume ultimately have a leaderboard with prizes for PvP.
Yeah, and right now we have recently rolled out a badge system. I don't know if it's worth showing some of the badges that you've earned. Yeah,
so forgot about the badges. So we do have badges for it, this game, so you can kind of start working your way towards something for it. So a few of these were given out near the beginning of the game when it launched back in January as like special exclusive badges. So there will be a mix of badges that always exist along the way and exclusive badges. And they're kind of divvied up into 4 pieces of a pizza pretty much for it. So in this case, so like this one, advanced delivery handler. So I earned this one, which is 3/4 of the badge because I've completed 75 delivery shifts. And I get the last piece of this pie when I've completed 500 delivery shifts along the way. So I actually don't know what number I'm at currently, but I'm working my way there for it. Same with this one with the big box retailer. I'll eventually get the last piece of this pie when I've reached 500, when I have 500 of my own hit contracts closed. So I'm only somewhere between 75 and 100. Eventually you'll do that. But as you can see, some of these other badges I've completed for it. So like this one, Body Count Overload, I've gotten because I've closed 500 hit contracts. I believe the first piece was given when you had 1, then it was 10, then it was 75, and then it was 500. So when a new player coming in, when they complete that first one, they'll get the first piece of the badge, and then it basically fills in as you increase the amount you've done. And there's a bunch of different ones that are in here. So fencing neon is a big one. So this is kind of like the ambusher challenge for it. So obviously this is kind of high risk, high reward ones. That's why it's called Diamond Hands. So you have to make it to 1,000 neon in one transaction that you're fencing, which is harder than it sounds, just because getting up to 1,000 without anyone getting retribution against you would be a contract and stealing that all. It's definitely a very risky thing to try to get up to that level for it. But yeah, so this is just the first set of 7 badges that are in here for it. There's obviously more badges that are coming that they're working on for it, and it'll be additional things that can always get added for it, things that you can work for in the game.
Maybe worth, talking about the trophies, because the trophies work like the keys, the Neon District keys. And the keys affect your rate in which you're opening loot boxes, the rate of which you're going to receive different types of legendary drops. Your odd, where does that's on the site somewhere, right? The breakout?
I know it shows mine. I don't know if it shows the breakdown for everyone.
So when your key is synced, it'll show you your drop rate.
Yeah, it shows mine. I don't know if it shows the breakdown for all of them. So in this case, I have a trophy for it. It would have been easier if my key showed. I don't know why my key doesn't show for it. But back in Season 0, when the game first launched, types of keys, it's like user, super user, root, admin, and god key for it. And then there's also trophies, which are pseudo god keys. These are kind of like the original OG assets that you had in the game when you first launched for your community 3 years ago. A lot of these are given away, solving puzzles that you had while you're developing the game for it, and given away as competition prizes for other games over the years. And then keys do the similar thing, but all they do is it affects drop rates, and it can improve your drop rates. So if you're serious about the game for it, obviously looking out to get a key. Unfortunately, no more are being minted. All that exists out there is what exists for it. So it's all secondary market from other players if you want to get one. And there's different tiers that you want to get, but it gives a boost to your drop rates. In this case, trophy, which is the highest one, which matches what a god key is for it. So in this case, I have a 24% chance common drop, 24 of uncommon, 29 rare, 17 for ultra rare, and 4.9% for legendary. So it's slightly improved over the base rates. I don't think this shows them, and I don't think I have the list of what it is, but I think at the base rate, I think a legendary is 1.7, and ultra rare is like 10 or 12. So it's a slight boost of a few percent per level for the keys that you have.
Well, and the reason why this matters, for example, if you're accumulating quite a bit of neon and you're waiting for an event, so if we're going to do a special rare item drop, which will probably be a legendary item, when it drops into the loot box opening. And so if you're buying, let's say 500 loot boxes all at one go, which I have done this with myself, it matters if you have a key, because you have a better chance then of your neon going further for you in order, like seeking that item that you're trying to have dropped, so that you don't have to try to compete on a secondary market to get the item to complete your set. For me, yeah, it was all about this, the Death Knight blade. Yep. So we have I had the whole outfit for the Death Knight, and then when we dropped the blade, it was a race. There were only 25 that were available, and basically all of us went hunting for it with the neon we had been accumulating. So there's some strategy about how you want to spend your neon, and also if it makes sense to have something like a key to help you boost, especially during those types of drops. If you don't really care about that and you just are caring about the strategy for what you can do for free, that's still a fun strategy. It's just that, and you can still get the blade. You're not like removed from getting. We had some people open only a few boxes, I believe, and they had received the blade. So
someone got one in like 10 boxes.
Yeah. So you still get to participate. It's just if you want to boost your odds.
Yeah, and those are few and far between when you guys do exclusive like that. I believe that's the only exclusive weapon that you guys have ever dropped. Everything else that you see here, obviously this is a page of legendaries for it. Just kind of shows. So all these are basically kind of infinite supply items for it. So it's based off of just how the odds are rolled. So obviously, caseless pistols, as many ultra rares of those can exist as possible for it. I think this is kind of part of the core set. I think you guys do plan to have expansions where it'll be kind of like limited time weapons and gear that will exist for it for smaller windows of time, or maybe just be a few months. Hey, there's expansion 1 that's available for 3 months, or you may do, and it's anything that's meant to do in that 3-month time is how many exist. But then you may also have other ones like the Death Knight where it's tied to a number. So in this case, only 25 Death Knight swords were minted and were added to the loot boxes for it. So that obviously isn't time-based, but it's just quantity-based. So there's a mix of stuff that are out there for it. And yeah, I mean, I have one. I actually don't use this at all in either of my teams for it. But I mean, the cards that it pulls are blade cards. So yeah, it definitely looks super awesome for it. But I also have other weapons that have similar blade cards. So you can also have it. So I mean, it's not like this is a completely unique set. There is some unique cards on it for it, like Shish Kebab, a level 0 is an exclusive card to this for it. But for the most part, the rest of the pool that it's pulling from, so in this case, like a level 9 card, Impressive No, that I have on this, you can get that on any other blade too. So it's not like if you don't get one of these exclusives, hey, that card just won't exist and only this person can have it. Any other person can pull all the other blades that exist that also can pull it. So this is definitely something that looks cool and looks badass to have in a game, but don't feel like you're missing out if you don't get one of those, because you can equally make any other weapon do that. And like I said, these are my favorite weapons. Actually are in the uncommon, rare, and common range that I find the best for it. So I like leveling from 0 and selectively picking what cards to get in what I replace. When you pull a legendary, it auto rolls all 5. I like the selection, so I generally skew towards rolling stuff lower that it goes up. It'll obviously make a difference once the level cap is raised to level 50. More interest in some of these select cards, like bread and butter, to be in this range of weapons and gear, where I can selectively choose as I upgrade what cards to pick, and pick things that combo well with other characters to do.
There was something else I wanted to bring up. Yep, you're right with the expansions, but we also have shells integration coming out. So our season 0 assets. It's basically like an application that you can give to any season 1 asset. You'll be able to give it a new aesthetic look, and then also a stat boost that will be unique. So yeah, I've actually accumulated a bunch of these season 0 assets just because I'm really excited about them. And I'm excited also about the setting up a DeFi marketplace for them as well, like a player run, because what happens is when you apply them, they burn. Or not burn, but they're no longer like a separate, like they can't be applied again in the future. It's a permanent bond. So then the ones that exist that are unused will become more rare. And these are all limited, won't be any more of these minted. And some of them are very cool, like the purple chucks. I had to really negotiate to get those. Yeah, do you know the ones I'm talking about, J-Top?
The Jack shoes. I don't think I have a pair of Jack shoes.
And you think I would have like bought a ton of these or went back when we
these.
You have
the legendary one. In every single one of these is unique artwork, pretty much. It's not like a standard gear, which basically it's all legendaries look the same. Each one of these, there's multiple different types of each of these colorings and strategies for it. So Demon Dark, hey, this one's a blue and yellow ultra rare. In a normal asset, obviously it look the same, but each one is its own unique coloring. So there's definitely a lot of customization you can do with each of these all being different.
And I've seen the behind the scenes art production, and they look so good on the season 1 assets. So like just in the same way that even if the Death Knight outfit and blade, like having a team of those guys, maybe they're not the best team, you still feel amazing like playing with them. So I'm excited for this experience to roll out. It's pretty much ready to go. We just have a really big drop lined up in the next couple weeks, and then we have season 0 integration, which is going live. Then we have our first expansion and first introduction into campaign play in the Neon District universe. And so, yeah, I'm really excited for the next few months. So it's a good time to be accumulating your gear and characters and getting ready for competing once we have the larger campaigns roll out.
Yeah, and just for any new players that are looking to the game, we do have a wiki out there that we're slowly filling in stuff for it. So if you're kind of looking to learn and join and knowing what to do on Tier 1, we do have some how-to guides that explain what delivering pizza is. It kind of takes you through the process, creating a team, what you can earn in each tier. Right now, we only have Tier 1 and Tier 2. A Tier 3 will eventually come. You can also earn juice and parts. I guess I did kind of overdo that, but leveling up any gear requires parts for it, and then leveling characters uses juice. It's kind of like, and you can buy those right now with Neon for it, but it's additional kind of your upgrade currency for it. Someone asked what ecosystem is this? So this is entirely built on the Polygon network for it, which was formerly Matic that was out there.
There's still some, so there's some keys and Season 0 assets still trading on Ethereum. And you can also transfer any of these assets from Polygon to Ethereum if you want to, or vice versa. But the game is minting on Polygon.
Yeah, so if you're a new player, there's some how-to guides that takes you through the 3 main modes of Neon Pizza that are right now. If you want to kind of jump down that rabbit hole, there's a lot more details about characters, what they can do. The big one in here is cards. So this is obviously a very extensive thing. It talks about all how the cards work. So tick cost, what the action does. You have things like exploits, the tags, the class it is, level. So there's obviously a lot of knowledge you can do here for it. Kind of simple. Tier 1's nice. There's no one can ambush you, so it's a good place to start when learning. So start sending your team out on delivery, start earning Neon, start getting those crates and gear. Then you can start leveling stuff up and learning about cards as you go. Once you kind of feel like you're ready to jump in, you can go ahead and start trying to ambush teams on Tier 2. Once you really are ready to take that leap, you can update your team to Tier 2. You do earn Neon about 3 times faster, but you can lose about half of it. So it does require more active play, but you can earn Neon quicker. Even if you are losing every round, if you're actively banking, you actually do earn more in Tier 2 than in Tier 1 for it. But everything in this wiki, you can learn about all the different types, what exploits are, all the different actions. It describes all the different types of actions. So what strip means, what contact means, what focus, are piercing for it. And then even down here, it lists every card for every type of character. So Demon, these are all the cards that you can pull in leveling for it. So if you kind of want to see what all the cards you could possibly pull when leveling. When leveling, you do get the selection of 3 cards. You pick one that can be their stats or a card that you replace, but you pick one of those and you apply it to your character, and it's permanent. It per your NFT, and then that goes with your NFT if you ever sell or trade it. Although everything you do to the NFT is part of the data that's updated for it. So this has all the information you need about all characters, all weapons, every card that exists. There's over 400. A lot here, obviously. There's a lot you can learn here if you want to really kind of jump into this on the deep end.
Okay, what was the link? What's the site for that again, Justin?
It's neondistrictrpg.fandom.com. It's just a fandom site.
Okay, great. So I see the host has come back. Happy to field any questions here. I know that we are wrapping up in the next few minutes.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, if anyone in the audience has any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. We can answer them for you. I've got a question, I guess, while we're waiting for that, if that happens. What is it that you're kind of most excited about in your roadmap over the next 3 to 6 months, I guess?
For me, I've really been looking forward to the introduction to the world. So we have this gorgeous map and world building story, like just our internal wiki is actually very deep as well. And there's so many NPCs and just thematics that I'm really excited to share with everybody and kind of curate these experiences. In the same way that I have a love for RPGs from Darkest Dungeon to Final Fantasy, Pokemon, Zelda, like these little trails we can set off people to go and solve the challenges we present them with to then acquire assets that come from that portion of the universe that they can have as mementos to carry with them for then PvP experiences in the future. So you'll see players, that have a certain sword, will know where it came from in the universe at a certain during a certain expansion. But yeah, I'm excited to start building that depth.
Amazing. Yeah, you guys have put a lot of work into this. It's truly a really cool experience to kind of get a deep dive into. Really cool to see.
I'm also excited, and this is a little bit further down the line, but syndicates. So as we have our different groups, being able to have that sort of coordinated cooperative play where players can have be aligned with each other and work as a unit for shared goals. So, with blockchain assets, there's such a natural MMO component to them. So basically incentivizing players and really bringing out that cooperative play and the fact that these are assets that people can trade or loan or rent, that whole economic system that backs it. Yeah, I'm really excited to do this in a way, though, that's also masked with the game design and the story and the world building.
Looks like we got a question. What class setup do you recommend for a starter? Someone with no weapons, armor, just getting going.
So for tier 1, it really doesn't matter since no one can ambush you for it. So obviously if you're just getting started, you say stick to tier 1. I actually recently, just a few days ago, answered this similar question. Let me see if I can find this really quick. So I actually kind of went through this and wrote a Medium article because that question get asked a lot. What should you do to build teams? Kind of gone through, kind of as a crash course, kind of run you through some good characters you have on your team. So in this case, hey, Ghost, Doc, Jack are definitely some good ones, better ones. If they're well rolled, would be Heavy Demon, Genius, and then kind of go through weapons, kind of go through some strategies for weapons to look out for, some cards that are good to have on each of those for it. So it's a Medium article I put out there under my name, JTopcat, for it kind of goes through pretty much kind of crash course in team building for it. It's obviously, there's a lot of depth, like I was saying earlier. There's over 400 cards. There's an infinite number of combos that pair well together for it. This is just kind of a very high-level look for someone new that's just kind of looking to learn some basics, being like, hey, these are some good cards to keep an eye out for. These specific weapons pair well with these other characters for it. These are armors that are good to kind of look out for. And obviously, when you're ready to kind of take that leap, there's a lot of information on a wiki to kind of start fine-tuning your team and kind of min-maxing it and looking to get that next level for your team. There's just a whole bunch out there to do.
Wow, yeah, it's really, really mind-blowing. Really excited to see how it evolves in the coming months and years.
Thanks. Yeah, it's amazing. It's been, so we launched the company in 2018. And designing the whole free-to-play game experience, I believe we are the only free-to-play blockchain game where you can earn to play without and compete on the leaderboard without actually ever spending money. And we have people, we can attest to this, like we have people doing that today. So being able to have that open economy where any be able to play on mobile or any web browser is very exciting for our ecosystem when we think about NFTs and just getting NFTs into people's hands and get people playing to unlock what's possible with this sort of technology.
It's really, really amazing stuff. Well, it looks like we don't really have any more questions, but really appreciate you both joining us today. If you have any kind of closing statements or anything you want to leave people with, feel free.
Justin, thank you for that awesome walkthrough. And I always love getting your wisdom from being a hardcore player. Yeah, I guess like if you have any questions, jump into our Discord. Our Twitter is Neon District RPG. I've actually just put your wiki at the top in the bio there. And then also we have our Discord, which is really active, lots of players. So if you feel stuck or a little intimidated, just come drop in. The game alpha just rolled out late January. So don't feel bad if you feel a little overwhelmed. We're happy to help you on board.
Amazing. Well, yeah, very exciting stuff. And again, thank you both so much for being here and sharing. Really grateful to have you.
Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the event.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya. Well, that wraps up our third day of Crypto Sports Week. Thank you all for watching and for your questions. Stay tuned. Tomorrow we have some really great events coming up. And it's been really exciting having you all here. Thanks, and have a wonderful rest of your night.